Let's get back to the big fight night on December the 23rd in Saudi Arabia. We know Wilder will be there. He's going to fight Joseph Parker. What kind of challenge will Parker produce on the night for Wilder? And the same applies to Anthony Joshua, who will take on Otto Wallin. Do you remember the damage he inflicted on Tyson Fury? Didn't win the fight, but he gave him one hell of an eye gash. What can Wallin possibly do against Joshua? Well, he was actually asked virtually the same kind of question at the press conference yesterday, Otto Wallin, by our own Spencer Oliver. What can he take from his amateur sparring with Joshua?
That was good fights. It was close fights. Amateurs a little bit different. I lost close decisions, but it was a long time ago. We were just starting out, both of us, and a lot has happened since. So.
What do you make of Anthony Joshua now, like as in the current Anthony Joshua? Do you think there's psychological damage? Do you think there's confidence issues? What do you take from it? Where do you see Anthony Joshua right now?
I think he's physically the same, but mentally I think he has too much pressure. It's got to be hard being him, to be honest. People like to criticize him, and he really seems to take that to heart, and he has a hard time with that. He's scared of losing, I think, and so now when you see him fight, it's more that he's fighting not to lose than to win.
Do you think
when he was coming up, he was aggressive, was knocking people out, but he doesn't have the confidence to do that now.
Sure. I mean, do you think that's unfair criticism, considering the journey that he's been on?
I think so. I think so. I think he's done great for himself. He's been a unified heavyweight champion, a big star here in England, and coming, from humble beginnings, and you can really put him down. I think he's done really well, and he deserves everything that he's done, but his time is coming to an end, unfortunately, and this is a sport. Somebody has to win, somebody has to lose, and I'm going to be the one to win this one.
Good talker, Otto Wallin, but that's by the by, Adam Catterall, is it not? Because is he a good fighter, and can he take care of Joshua in the night? What chance do you give him?
Listen, he's a great talker. I really enjoyed what he was saying there, and listen, this is a really competitive matchup. There's some serious jeopardy in this fight for AJ. A lot of people will look at this, and maybe if you're not too affair with Otto Wallin, you'll go, oh, he fought Tyson Fury and he got beat. But if you remember that fight, any other States Athletic Commission in America waved that fight off, and Otto Wallin has his hand raised because of the damage that cut had over the top of Tyson Fury's eye. It was ridiculous, but Nevada State Athletic Commission allowed that fight to continue. So he was very unlucky on that night to come on the wrong end of a decision against Tyson Fury. He put up a great fight that evening, and he's had some wonderful wins since. Last time out, he fought Murat Gassiev, and he absolutely dominated Murat Gassiev. People will look at it and say, oh, it's a split decision, but there's a horrific judges' scorecard in there. He was brilliant that night. He's an awkward southpaw. AJ's shown in the past that sometimes he struggles with those awkward southpaw. We refer back to Alexander Usyk, and don't get me wrong, Usyk's an elite guy. He's not Wallin, I get that. But there's some serious jeopardy in this. The reason for him taking this particular fight is because I think Team AJ see the opportunity with the IBF. If he beat Wallin, they'll become number 2 with the IBF, which then put them in a real good position to fight Filip Hrgović should an IBF title come vacant off the back of the undisputed title fight, which is highly likely. So, like I said, it looks like on paper the path of least resistance, because people have been comparing it to a Wilder fight, but there's a lot of jeopardy here, and there's big ramifications off the back of it.
Simon, I wonder what you and Adam will make of a question like, how different is this Otto Wallin to the one that inflicted the damage on Fury's eye? What we're going to get from what when he shows up in the night in Saudi in just a few weeks from now, what Otto Wallin is showing up?
I think probably a slightly better one that went into the fight with Tyson Fury, because he'd have taken a lot of confidence from that fight, a lot of belief. And obviously he's gone on and his record's got slightly better because he's gone on and won fights, as Adam alludes to. Do I think he beats Anthony Joshua? No. Not if Anthony Joshua turns up and does what Anthony Joshua should do. Now, whether we're ever going to get back the wrecking ball, I doubt. But I still think he's got plenty enough to deal with Otto Wallin. And Adam's analysis is exactly the same thing as I said yesterday. Anthony Joshua's pursuit is to be 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. And if he gets that by moving past Otto Wallin and getting the shot that Filip Hrgović will have earned when the IBF belt becomes vacated because of the unification, then that's the route Anthony Joshua will go, because that's, I think, his main focus. Don't you, Adam?
100% agree. Lots of people yesterday off the back of this announcement think that we've got two semi-finals here where AJ and Wilder are going to clash next. Listen, I'm not ruling out that they're going to clash at some point because the amount of money that is on the table from what we're seeing in Saudi Arabia. But Anthony Joshua's primary focus is to become a 3-time heavyweight champion of the world. There is lots of noise on the inside that the IBF will take away their belt once the undisputed fight is concluded. Don't rule it out. I mean, we've just seen what they've done to Terence Crawford recently. They did it to Tyson Fury. If you remember when he beat Vladimir Klitschko, they've got history of doing it. So they'll strip that belt. That belt will become vacant, and the number 1 and number 2 will fight. And that is why AJ is fighting Wallin. If he can beat Wallin, he'll get the number 2 slot, and therefore he'll be fighting Filip Hrgović, who is on this same card, coincidentally. And with all due respect, he's got a bit of a knockover in Mark Damori, who, if we all remember, was flattened by David Haye about 6 or 7 years ago in one round. So it's all pointing for me towards AJ. If he can come through Wallin, and I think, like Simon said, I think he will, AJ versus Hrgović for the IBF strap at some point next year.
What kind of challenge, Adam, does Joseph Parker give to Deontay Wilder?
Mate, a real good one. He's a very durable guy. We know that. He will go out on his shield. He'll absolutely throw the kitchen sink of it. Is he one of the elite guys? No, he's not, but he's got fast hands. He's got Andy Lee in his corner, who was part of the corner that trained Tyson Fury for their contest with Deontay Wilder. So they'll have lots of data on how they go about this fight. He won't be frightening coming forward. But the big thing is, as we say in every single Deontay Wilder fight, Joseph Parker's got to be perfect for 36 minutes. I don't know if Joseph Parker has the power to really cause a dent with Deontay Wilder, so he's going to have to outbox him for 36 minutes. It's possible, but we all know that Deontay Wilder has got some freakish, godlike power in those hands, and if he just clips you, you will go. And if Joe Joyce can find the chin of Joseph Parker, I would imagine that Deontay Wilder will find it at some point.
You and I were there that night, Simon, watching that very fight, weren't we?
That's exactly that. I mean, again, Adam's analysis is exactly what my view is. Because I think Joseph Parker's quite fortunate to be in this fight, quite frankly. But the bottom line is he is in it. He is durable. But in the end, he got knocked out by Joe Joyce. There's no one going to make a case that Joe Joyce is the most dynamic of fighters and that Joseph Parker hit him with everything. We've seen that Wilder can take punches. We know that he got knocked down by Fury, but he got up. And Fury's a better fighter than Joseph Parker. If the challenge is for Parker to be able to negotiate 12 rounds with Deontay Wilder, I don't see that happening. I see Parker getting knocked out, and I see him getting knocked out relatively quickly by Deontay Wilder.
Ben Davison features in all of this as well, Adam, as you're well aware. One time in the corner of Tyson Fury, this time in the corner of Anthony Joshua. What was your take on that when you heard it?
How interesting is that? The former trainer of Tyson Fury being now in the corner of Anthony Joshua. And obviously Ben was in the corner when Tyson did fight Otto Allen. I've worked with Ben. I know Ben. I've done plenty of programs with Ben in the past. I've seen him work. He's one of the best brains in the game. He's so analytical. I think the big thing that Ben works on is mindset. And this is a big thing that Anthony Joshua needs. We know that look at him. He's got all the physical attributes in the world to once again regain that heavyweight championship. Is it going on between the ears? And if Ben can get him absolutely ticking and flying once again, then that's an exciting prospect for me. I know that they've said that this is just a one-off and that he will be working with Derek James at some point in the future. But if it all comes together in this fight and Anthony Joshua looks amazing, why change it? If Ben Davison's the final piece of the jigsaw to get Anthony Joshua back to the top of the tree, then I'm all for supporting that.
You've said a few things about Ben when he's been in here as well, Simon.
Yeah.
You're taking Ben Davison's an interesting one.
Well, I've had thought in the past that Ben has made it a little bit more about himself than the fighters, but that was a couple of years ago. And Ben Davison is now obviously a far more established trainer with far more expertise. But I'm interested to see, there was a real journey going on with Derek James. Derek James is trying to change his style, trying to re-engage Anthony into a certain way of thinking. Do you not think this is mixed messages? I mean, Derek is he not involved in this fight at all?
No, I believe that it's going to, for this particular fight, just because of the travel and what have you, obviously this fight's taking place in the Middle East and Derek James is he's based out in Dallas. They're going to do the camp here in Essex at Ben's gym and then obviously move out to the Middle East when the fight comes around. You might be right regarding the mixed messages thing, but knowing Ben as I do, I just think that he will already have had in his head what needs to be done with Anthony Joshua. From a technical standpoint, he's solid. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He's a 2-time heavyweight champion of the world. It's just about giving him the belief to be able to go and deliver the tools that he's got. And I think Ben, if you look at the job that he's done, for example, with Lee Wood, where Lee Wood was to where Lee Wood is now, he's done a wonderful job with certain fighters over the years, Josh Taylor being another one.
Yeah.
Then he can take Anthony Joshua back to where he once was.